Okay, so we saw in the previous video that we're going to be using partial fractions to find this integral, and we also found the values of a and b. So this is all the past information that we did. So the next step is now to go in and rewrite this as the integral, and we're going to rewrite the a as negative 2/3, and then it's going to be times 1 over 2v plus 1, plus the b, which we know is equal to 1/3. So we're going to factor that out and write that as 1 over v minus 1. And we're integrating this whole thing with respect to v. So sometimes people put little brackets on these just to kind of keep it together. And that's equal to the integral of 1 over x dx. So now when we do our integration, we're going to have a negative 2/3. Then with a u substitution on the 2v plus 1, we're going to get an extra 1/2 in the integration process. And then we're going to have a 1 over u, which integrates into a natural log of 2v plus 1 in absolute values. And then back here, when we integrate, we're going to have our 1/3 carried along, natural log of absolute value of v minus 1. And then over here, integrating natural log absolute value of x plus our constant c. If we now simplify this down, we're going to have a negative 1/3 natural log absolute value 2v plus 1 plus 1/3 natural log absolute value v minus 1 is equal to natural log absolute value x plus c. All right, now we can multiply this whole thing through by a 3 to clear out the fractions. And in doing so, we're going to have negative natural log of 2v plus 1 in absolute values plus natural log absolute value of v minus 1 in absolute values equals 3 natural log absolute value x plus an arbitrary constant c. All right, next step is to use the rules of log. So we write this as a fraction. So this is the natural log of the fraction v minus 1 over 2v plus 1 in absolute values, and that's equal to natural log of x to the 3rd power plus c. We can now exponentiate to get rid of our logs, and that turns into a v minus 1 over a 2v plus 1 is equal to c times x cubed. And then we can go through and replace our v's with y's over x's, and we'll do that in the next video.